It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is gonna be the first video of my Christmas Readmas marathon. So if you missed the previous video where I mentioned it, what I'm gonna do in Christmas is give you guys every day until the day of Christmas, so starting from the 1st of December, a review on a Christmas short story or novella. So I decided to select 24 books that were Christmas related. It can be romances, thriller, or any kind. The list is not definite as of now, but I gave a sneak peek in the introduction video so that you guys can understand the concept. Because in my mind, I was like, okay, every YouTuber does Vlogmas, and it's a nice way to connect with the audience and to challenge myself. Because I wanted to adapt the concept of Vlogmas to the booktube community. So yeah, so the first book that I read was A Winter in New York by Josie Silver, and it's 384 pages according to Goodreads. The reason I selected this book is I wanted something really Christmassy, and in the sense that to me, the perfect city to celebrate Christmas is New York. It's one of my dreams. So I was like, okay, the title is perfect for me. And also, I wanted to get the bigger books out of the way, and I started reading it. So this week, which is the week of the 1st of December, so I could get ahead and I can get the video ready for you guys in time for Friday. So the book was 384 pages, but I didn't feel like it was too long. I didn't feel like it took me a long time to read it. I would have to say that the beginning is a little bit slower in the sense that it takes a while for you to get into the mood and for you to get into the book. But once you get into the rhythm, it's a really enjoyable story in the sense that the characters are really feel good. You have a happy ending, and it's really nice. Like, it's the type of story that you would read under a blanket in front of a cozy fire. So yeah, I would recommend it for you to read this Christmas or this holiday season. So basically, it's the story between Iris and between Geo. So Iris gets a scrapbook from her mother, and in this scrapbook, she has memories, picture with people. You have to know that Iris's mother used to be a singer. She was in a band in the United States, so she comes from the UK. And Iris decided to go on the footstep of her mom to find some places that she liked or enjoyed, because her mom passed along a gelato recipe for her, and she attached a picture of a gelato maker, basically the person that gave her the recipe. So Iris decided to visit Bellotti's because the recipe is written on a napkin when you can have the name of the gelateria, so she can find more about her mom. And Iris left London, the UK, and went into New York for a specific reason. She has a past with an abusive boyfriend. So she specified multiple times in the book that it was never physical, but more of the mental and psychological abuse. So she left him. His name is Adam, and she tries to leave everything behind and start afresh in New York. Iris is a chef, so she's looking for a place to work in New York, and she's gonna stumble across a noodle shop where she meets Bobby and his husband Robin, and they become like big brothers to her because they live above the noodle shop, and they're able to also give her an accommodation, so for a place for her to stay, also above the noodle shop, and they become really close, like relationship between siblings. Basically, they take her under their wing and they take care of her. So Iris goes to the gelateria to meet the family of Santo because she only has a picture of the gelato maker, and his name is Santo, the one that came up with the recipe and passed it along to her mom. What she doesn't know at the time is that the recipe is actually super old, and it gets passed around the family from gelato maker to the next generation, basically. And the one in charge right now, so Santo, the one that her mom knew, has a stroke, or I think an aneurysm or something like that, and he doesn't remember the recipe, which is bad because there are only two Bellotti's member allowed to have the recipe at a time, and one of the member is the dad of Gio, so the main character, and he's not in America. So they're trying to scramble around to find the recipe and to make sure that they can they keep up with their orders, because they have like company dinners and weddings for which they have to send their gelato because it's really famous around New York. So Iris doesn't really know how to go about it because she's thinking in her head, okay, I have the gelato recipe, I can pass it along to them because my mom gave it to me and it would save their business. But in a sense, she want to be loyal to her mom. she wanna honor the promises that her mom made to Santo years ago, because she promised that she would never reveal that she has the formula, and that she kept her for herself. She promised to give it back, and she always said that she was never gonna disclose their secret, because Santo could be, outcast by his family, because it's a family recipe. They don't want it to be in the hand of stranger. They don't want anybody to have it. So it's a really tough decision for Iris, because she's gonna start helping Gio get back into the recipe, but without telling him too much, or without disclosing how she got the recipe in the first place, right? So yeah, it was a really feel good story, because you see the love story developing between Iris and Gio, and you also see the struggle that they go through to go back into the recipe, because Iris is trying to nudge him into the direction of the right recipe without giving away too much, because she feel like she owes it to the ghost of her mom, basically, to be loyal and to keep the promises, to never disclose the recipe, and to only give it back to his rightful owner, which is Santo. And during the book, she's gonna encounter So Felipe, who is the brother of Santo and one of her mom's band, and he's gonna recognize her, because apparently she has a really high resemblance to her mom. And Felipe is gonna give her an ultimatum to disclose everything to the Bellotti family, and say why she came into their life, and why she seems to know so much about the gelato. So it's gonna be a really big struggle for her to navigate lies, and how she's gonna be able to tell Gio that she knew the recipe from the beginning. She could have helped him from the beginning, but she chose to stay mute and basically develop another type of relationship with him. So I really like that book, because it has some natural aspect to it, and it's really realistic, in the sense that all relationships are not fairy tales, especially not Christmas one, because you know how those Christmas movies are really magical and good feeling, and it's always perfect. And this one has a different setting than the one that we used to see, and I really like that, the real aspect of it. Also, you're gonna have to see how Iris is navigating lies. And why am I saying that? Is because at the beginning of the book, she met Gio during Valentine's Day, so before they are encounter, and before they started working on the gelato recipe together. And she lied to him that her husband is dead, but Adam was never her husband, and he's not dead. So she's struggling with that. She's lying about the recipe. She's lying about her ex-boyfriend, ex-husband. And the thing is, Gio is going through loss, because he's lost his wife. He's actually a widower. So she feels so guilty to lie to him about an experience that he's going through, and something that he's suffering through. So the book was really nice. I didn't feel like it was too long. Like I said, I didn't feel like it was a struggle for me. Besides maybe the beginning, that was a little bit slow for me. But once you got into the book, it was nice. You have a lot of description. The character development is really there, and you have the story building up nicely. I would just say, for criticism, that the end was a bit anticlimactic for me, because I expected so much blowback for her, for all the lies that she was keeping. But you're gonna see that it's not as bad as you think it's gonna go. And she still gets her happy ending. So, little spoiler for you guys. So yeah, just the end for me was a bit, underwhelming, and I expected a little bit more consequences to her action and other people's action as well. I think it was accepted a bit too much, but I mean, that's as expected from a Christmas romance, right? It has to go well, it has to be a little bit of a fairy tale, because if not, what's the point of it being a Christmas romance? So yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy the book. I recommend reading it. I would say that for a rating, I would give it, I would say, either 3.5 or 4 star. Let's say 4 star, because it was a good book. I would just say I'm deducting a point because it was a bit too slow, and because the end for me was not really satisfactory. But yeah, I cannot wait to get into the next book on my list. I think it's A Very Merry Mistakes, and I explained the plot a little bit in my introduction video. So yeah, I cannot wait to read that book, review it, and post it for you guys. So I will see you in the second episode of Sandra's Readmas Marathon, and I hope you enjoyed this one. If you guys have any Christmas recommendation, please leave them below, because I would love to know about them. And like I said, my list of book is not definite, so I can always change my mind. And in the meantime, I will see you in the next episode.
The
Bye.
season of peace is finally here.